everybody. This is Dave here at Pulp Alley, and I'm really excited today because I'm getting to play a game with Ian and Chris Abbey. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is a brand new scenario that I wrote up just for this Kickstarter, and it is called The Lair of the Worm. You get bonus points if you can figure out what the story is behind all of this, because it does have kind of a connection back to some fiction and some historical fiction as well. So really cool stuff. Now, they have an awesome Kickstarter going right now. They have this beautiful Norse scenery and beautiful figures, lots of cool stuff that are available on the Kickstarter. So you want to get over there and check it out. I want to tell you a little bit about the story around this scenario. So for this scenario, we assume a group of Norse raiders have run into some problems, and their ship is damaged, and they find a river to go up. They go up this river looking for a place safe where they can do some repairs on their ship. And as they come around a bend in the river, they find this abbey very close to the river and a nice landing area. And they think, hey, you know what? This is a great place. Let's just pull up here. This will be a good place to get repairs and try and get resupplied before we head home. So they land there. The leader, Ulfric, goes and speaks with the monks. And of course, they're very nervous when Ulfric shows up. But Ulfric assures them that they are only there to repair their ship, that he will happily pay them with silver for, you know, their help and their supplies and things like that, and that there's, you know, that they will not be harmed in any way. And, you know, nervously, the monks agree to, you know, help them a little bit. Now, Ulfric, of course, tells his men, whatever you do, we're not going to harm the monks. We just want to get supplies, fix the boat so we can get back home before winter sets in, because we still have a long travel. So as the story continues, after a few days while they are there, one of the monks mysteriously disappears. Everyone is kind of nervous about this. You know, some people think that maybe the monk just ran away. You know, and some people are kind of blaming the raiders. So that's something that happens. But then a few days later past that, so now they've been there nearly a week, the raiders have, they discover that several of the livestock has been slaughtered, horribly slaughtered, and just entrails and everything scattered around. Partially eaten, appears to be raw. So that's very unsettling to the monks and somewhat to the raiders as well. And then a couple nights after that, everyone wakes up to a big fire out on the beach. And when they go to find out what's happening, their ship has been set afire and is badly damaged. Not only that, but they also find the horribly mangled corpse of Ulfric. The leader of the raiders was murdered, and his corpse just left strewn about the sand on the beach there near the ship. Now, the Vikings, the raiders, and the monks, you know, are very nervous about what has happened. And they group together, and they are going to try and solve the mystery and find out what happened. So in many ways, this is a mystery story, but look out, because something big is on the way. Anyway, beautiful miniatures in this set. We have 2 characters each, and I'd like to give an opportunity for Chris and Ian to talk a little bit about the Kickstarter. Will you guys share some information?
Yeah, I'll go first. Thanks, David. This is Cyan, my daughter, by the way. So say hi. Hi. Well, it's great that you've invited us here to play this game. It's going to be my first live Pulp Alley game. So I'm here to learn and really enjoy myself with my daughter whilst we play with this lovely setup that Chris Abbey has put up. As you can see, there are many of the miniatures that we currently have on the Kickstarter we are running. These miniatures were designed about a year ago for my first original Kickstarter, which was Viking Saga, which included a lot of terrain, and they complemented this Norse terrain very, very nicely, I think. And basically, I wanted to keep them quite realistic, but just borderline on the historic fantasy so that it can be used by different genres and different games. Had to keep them as historic as possible, because I was working with 2 museums in Sweden who are now preparing, as we speak, this spring, are now preparing displays for this Norse saga in their own workshops and museum display pieces. Well, it all went rather well, but then Chris Abbey and I were discussing how great the miniatures were on the tabletop, and how we thought it would be great to actually mold these in plastic and metal and actually get them out there for historical war games and fantasy war games. So I'll pass it over to Chris so he can tell us a bit about the molding process and stuff. But basically, this Viking Kickstarter we're running now has remastered models that actually cater for the necessities of this mold making. Chris, perhaps you'd like to add something on that?
Okay, right. Thanks, Ian. So I think one of the things that's really exciting for me about the Kickstarter is the sheer sort of variety of what we have on offer. We have the sort of traditional Viking heroes, and some of them are a bit sort of larger than life. We have some lovely. We have some shield maidens who are also well armed and larger in life as well. But it's not all about these. No, these characters, which are going to be sort of great for your leaders in war bands, your heroes, for characters in role-playing games. But we also have a good selection of the figures that you can use for role-playing. Like we have 5 different monks in exciting different poses. We have a Viking villager collecting mushrooms, and we have the mighty Orc, which is a huge model and is really which is really typical of these times, and it's forerunner of all of our modern breeds of cattle, and it's just a great selection of subjects for the sort of darkness for the Dark Ages, and we're really cutting edge. We're making the models available as either STL files if you want to print them yourself, and obviously if you're printing them yourself, you can print them at whatever scale you want. And then we're also providing both fine cast metal and hard thermoplastic miniatures, so you can you can choose how you want the models, and the metal and plastic ones are 28mm. They're compatible with the likes of Victrix, Gripping Beast, Wargames Foundry, Coppleston, Artisan, so they will also sit very well as leaders and characters with your existing armies.
Yeah, thanks, Chris, for that. But I would like to add that, as you say, I think these combine well with many different games. There are many different characters in there. I give these designs a lot of time as far as personality and character goes. And there are so many games you can actually add and use these for. That it's just incredible. So, and now as 3D printing is not available to everybody, and even some people are not really interested in actual 3D printing, because 3D printing is a hobby within a hobby. So many people just want the actual characters as plastic or and metal. So I think it's just great that we bring these miniatures to the tabletop and to the reach of people who want to actually collect them. I think there are so many opportunities to use on so many different games.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, it's absolutely marvelous. When you look at these figures, and I'm glad that Ian touched on the historical side of them, because they really are done beautifully. The level of detail and the thought went into this. Like, you would be hard pressed to look at these and not want to play with them. They would fit into any sort of Viking game, any sort of Norse game. If you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, if you're playing Pendragon, you know, it really doesn't matter if you're playing a role-playing game or a skirmish game or a big war game, you know, whatever it is, these are the sort of beautiful figures that would really fit in there. And what I love about Ian's work is he's just a top-notch artist. He has these poses that don't feel static. They just feel very fluid and natural poses. I just love the way he poses the figures. I think that's beautiful. I love the detail that he puts on these miniatures. They are, you know, little works of art is what they are. So it's really beautiful. You ought to be getting over to the Kickstarter and checking this out, because it's top-notch stuff. I definitely want to play with these a lot more. I'm going to get me a set of these as well, and I'll be playing with them. So for the scenario today, I want to go really quickly over some of the special rules, just so those of you playing along at home know what we're talking about. So there is the potential for some horror in this scenario. So there is something bad coming. So when it shows up, it could psychologically affect not only the monks, but also the raiders. So we could potentially have some horrific effects going on. Now, our characters are going to draw scenario cards when they activate on turn number 1 through 4, if they are over 6 inches away from all other characters. That means, just like in any good horror movie, right? You want people to kind of spread out so that you can get them a little bit. So nothing happens to characters that are sticking close together. Nothing will happen there. But somebody that wanders off on their own, if you activate a character that's over 6 inches away from all the other characters, you're going to draw a scenario card. And you want to do that not only because, you know, bad things might happen, but also because good things might happen and you might find stuff. So the plot points can appear randomly. We don't really have any plot points on the table right now, but hopefully they will be appearing throughout the turn. And there is, as I've said a couple times, something big and bad is coming. So eventually a big bad thing will appear, and then we will have to deal with that in a different way, with maybe with cold steel. So that's basically the scenario. Chris, do we have fortune cards?
We do, yes. Okay. So
David, I brought some cold steel just in case.
Very good. That's a nice look.
So when the monster comes, I'll bring this out just for luck.
Very good. Very good.
Okay, so we have
That'll
some
probably do better than my my racket back there and my cricket bat.
Yeah, or you can whack them over the head with it.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we have, so who had Silje and Aldwin?
Those are Ian.
I have Celia. I have
Celia?
Celia and Alwyn. Yeah, that's
Celia
me
and
down the
Alwyn.
corner. Yeah.
Yep.
Celia and
Yeah, I
Aldwyn.
mean the little patio behind the abbey.
Yeah. Okay, so your fortune cards are just reward.
Okay.
When you pass a peril, you become the director.
Okay.
You have grin and bear it. Before a character rolls brawl, shoot, or dodge, you gain a +1 or -1 penalty.
Okay.
And your third one is all or nothing. Oh, I really love this one. So this is instead of rolling the normal challenge, you just roll a 1d6 and it's a success on a 4+.
Yep.
Okay. Is the first one a passive one, the just reward?
It's when you pass a peril, you become the director.
Okay, so that just keeps on happening, or
Mhm.
or do I need to use the card?
You have to
Oh,
play
okay.
that card. Yeah, you'll have to play that card when it happens, and then it will go out of your hand. So
Okay, got it.
whenever you use a card, it'll be removed from play.
Okay, so David, your 3 cards are distraction. When an enemy activates,
Okay.
you suffer. Yep. Okay. Out of ammo
Okay.
and breakaway.
Okay.
And my cards are bad news,
Bad news. Okay.
stay down, and unseen peril.
Okay, that's good stuff right there. Yep. Chris, you get to decide, and everybody playing along at home, remember in a co-op scenario, if I haven't mentioned it, we're playing the scenario co-op. So the only real difference between a co-op scenario and a versus scenario is that we're not enemies. And that term means something in Pulp Alley. Since we're not enemies, everything else stays the same. So Chris is the director, and as the director, he gets to decide who activates the first character. So Chris, do you want Ian to go? Do you want me to go,
Right.
or are you going to go?
Okay, so I'm going to activate my character first,
Okay.
and I'm going to choose Ina,
Okay.
and she is going to head over to this barn.
Okay.
and-
She's going to investigate the barn. I don't know. I don't think she should be wandering off. I think she's going to have some problems over there. That looks sketchy. All right.
Okay.
Are you going to keep going?
She's just going to move her normal 6 inches. She's not going to run.
Okay.
Okay, so is it the scenario card is if you activate more than 6 inches away?
That is correct, sir. So she will not
Okay.
get a scenario card this turn.
No. Okay. Well, and who is this in this corner?
That's me.
Is Ian.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so
Celia
Ian, would you
and
like
Orwin.
to?
Yeah.
So Ian, would you like to activate one of your characters?
Okay, so Orwin, go to the tree, check the tree.
Good. Good.
Okay. So he is heading off in this direction.
Yep.
He's gonna walk around. Yeah.
Okay. So David, would you like to activate one?
Okay. I think I'm gonna do a run. I'm gonna activate Oka. He thinks he sees something down that road, and I want to move a full 12 inches down that path over there.
Towards the west.
Yes, towards the west. Yeah.
Okay, so he's moved 12 inches in that direction.
So this is really just the start of the scenario. Everybody's kind of moving out to investigate. Nothing's happening so far. I don't think there's a monster. I think everybody's going to be safe. All right, Ian, or Chris, who's going to go next?
Okay, so Ian, if you'd like to activate your second character.
Yeah, that would be Celia. I'd like her to walk along the abbey and come out on the beach and walk and investigate that long ship that got burned, right?
Okay.
So
Okay, that's good.
Okay, so she could move 4 inches to this opening in the wall.
no, I think it's better to actually run there to get the 12 inches.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, I would agree.
Otherwise
So-
we'll never get there.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's moved.
Yeah, you don't really have to measure it. Just put her over there.
Yeah.
she's
Okay,
on a
so
slow
she's
jog.
she's
Just
run
eyeball it.
down to have a look at the ship.
Yeah.
That's a rule for all of you out there. Don't feel like you got to measure everything. Sometimes just eyeball it and say, well, there's 6 inches or there's 12 inches. For right now, it's not a big deal. Chris, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to investigate in this corner of the wall here
Okay.
with Aldi, and that just leaves a character for you to move.
Okay. So now when I activate Bert, over there at the corner of the Abbey, you'll notice, everybody, that he does not have anybody within 6 inches of him. So when he activates, I'm going to have to draw a yellow card. I'm going to have to draw one of the scenario cards. Chris, draw me a good one.
Oh dear, you have found a grisly murder.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
We like finding grisly murders. Yay! Sounds bad, but
yeah.
you
So
know.
if there's currently a prop point within 6 inches, ignore the card, but there isn't.
There
So
is
this
not.
means that we're going to place a prop point.
1 die 8 inches in a random direction from the monk. So it could be anywhere. So it could be.
Yeah.
So maybe right here, everybody, maybe he hears a scream. Maybe he hears someone, someone gasp or something. It could be, or it could be somebody that was murdered earlier this day.
Okay, so I've rolled a 7.
Okay.
And it's in a sort of northwesterly direction.
I see that.
Yeah, okay. So that is going to put, I think it's maybe a witness to the murder.
Okay.
So we have another monk who is at work in the field.
Good. So what he actually hears is another monk who cries out because he has found the murder, or he's found someone that's murdered, and he gasps and he screams out. All right. Well, we know that was 7 inches away. So I'm going to go ahead and move 6 inches towards it. That'll leave me about 1 inch away from it. And then I'm going to Bert, do nothing else. That's all I can do. So I'm just going to move 6 inches towards it and I'll be done.
Right. Okay. So I think that's all of the characters activated this turn.
Yeah, this is an 8-turn scenario. So 1 plot point is on the table. We have had a scream. So things are is everybody spread out now where everybody's over 6 inches from everybody else, or?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. I think I think the action is going to start hotting up this turn.
Yeah. So
okay.
We don't get to draw more than 4 scenario cards each turn, regardless of how many people are qualified for it. So let's go ahead and draw some more cards.
Yeah, so at the end of the turn, the scenario card goes back in the deck?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So that's the scenario cards and fortune cards. Dave, you get a sucker punch.
Okay, I like that.
Ian gets not my fault, and I get a clear shot.
Okay, not particularly helpful. Chris, you are still the director as we start turn number 2 of the Wolf Raiders scenario.
Okay, so
you guys let me know, everybody that's out there watching right now, let me know what you think about this idea of a mystery scenario. We like doing these sometimes. When I was coming up with an idea for a scenario for this, of course, the idea of just the Raiders coming in and beating the heck out of a bunch of monks kind of came to the surface. I was thinking, that would be fun, but would it? After a while, I was like, well, just to see how much loot you can get or something like that. I wanted to do something a little bit different with these scenarios. So it's really more of an investigation, and it really pits the monks and the raiders together. So I thought that would be fun too. Let me know if you'd like to see another scenario with these figures, though, and give me some suggestions in the comments. Chris, you are the director. Are you going to activate?
Okay, so I'm the director, and I'm going to activate Ina, and she is 6 inches away.
Okay.
And
look out, Ina.
So Ina has heard an inhuman scream.
Uh-oh, something's going on.
Okay,
Oh
so
my
it's
gosh.
so
What kind of creature made that sound?
Something's in the barn.
it's not
Something
good.
in the barn.
Something in the barn. Okay,
Oh
so
my
I
gosh.
believe that every character has to now take a horror check.
Yes, you can roll
Okay.
for my characters. So they're all the characters in this scenario are level 3. So they all have a health of D8. So each character is going to roll 1D8, and we need to roll a 4 or higher to be a success. So,
So I thought we'd just move round the board
okay,
clockwise.
I
So
think-
Ina was the closest. So she's
Okay.
rolling first. So she's rolled a 2. So she has
get
failed.
that green cards out. You need a horror deck, sir. The
Yeah.
horror is
Okay.
starting.
So she has drawn run away. You must
Run
move
away.
2d6 directly away from the closest horror immediately after the card takes effect and each time you activate.
Okay, so she is scared. So she's just looking for someplace to hide. Chris, since we don't have a horror on the table, that's just going to be 2 die 6 inches in a random direction.
Okay, so I'm going to roll the d8 for direction,
Okay,
and it's away from the abbey.
okay.
And oh well, she is really freaked. So she's going 10 inches away.
Oh my gosh. So she's way back in that corner.
Yeah. So that puts her right over here.
She's clear on the other side of the abbey there. So that card attaches to Ina. That card attaches to Ina, and she will have to roll every time she activates. She will get a recovery check at the end of this turn, though, to see if she can shake off that fear. Otherwise, she will just continue running scared. Who are you rolling for
Okay,
next?
So the next character round is Aldi.
Okay.
And he's rolled a 4, so I think he's just scraped through.
Oh,
You got
a
a
1d8
4.
or 1d4, sorry?
1d8.
A
So
d8.
he rolled
You
a
roll a 4
d8.
better.
Okay, so the next character round
That's a 1.
is Silje.
Uh-oh, Celia. Celia will have to draw a green card. He rolled a 1.
A 1. Okay, so Celia has got blind panic.
Blind panic.
So
no!
So Ian, can you roll me 2d6?
2d6. There you go. Roll these. Let's see. A 4 and a 6.
So 10.
Yes.
Right. Well, this is crazy that she's splashing around in the water.
She tries to
Oh
run
no,
out
she's
into the
gone for a
water.
swim. Somebody stop her.
She hears that scream and is trying to get away.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next to go is Aldwin. So Ian, if you can roll for him.
Yeah. A 1d8?
Yeah.
1d8.
Yeah, okay, d8. What's that? 3.
Okay,
Oh,
he gets
no.
a green card too. They are scared. They hear that strange scream.
Right. Okay. So you are unbalanced.
Okay.
So for the duration of the effect, the character is impaired.
That just affects his running. It means his movement is impaired. Okay, so attach that card to the character. So it'll affect him if he tries to run, but otherwise he'll be all right. You still have to roll for both of my characters.
Yeah. Okay.
Chris?
So I'm rolling for your monk.
Okay.
For Bert.
Oh, he's not scared.
He's rolled an 8, so he is absolutely fearless.
And there's no way Oak is going to be shown up, so he's going to pass.
Yeah. Oka has rolled a 7, so
there you go. There you go. They're not scared.
Okay, so Ian, would you like to activate a character? So I guess David, if we've activated and we've run in blind panic, so does that mean that that's our activation gone?
No, no, that's not his activation. No.
No. Okay. So it was Ina. So Ina was being activated. She revealed the horror, and she's run away.
So that would be all of her movement. So her activation is now ended. So she won't really be able to do anything else.
Right. Okay. So Ian, would you like to activate a character?
Well, I've got Aldwin, who's encumbered there, and Celia is on her way, splashing her way into the waves. So I'd like to sort of stop her. So what's my chances of doing that?
Okay.
So stop her and getting under control?
Yeah. First thing that's going to happen is that she's going to move another 2d6 in a random direction, Chris. That's what's going to happen first.
Yeah.
At the end of the turn, you'll get a chance to recover. So right now, she's just going to go ahead and move again.
Okay. So so she's in the surf as far deep as she can wade, and she's heading towards the cliffs. So can she do anything else?
Yes, she could. So that was 7 inches. At that moment, you could try to correct her movement a little bit. You still have technically 5 inches of movement for her activation. So she could come back towards the Abbey if you wanted her to. You could move her another 5 inches if you wanted to.
In any direction.
Yes.
Yeah, I prefer, if, as there's no real scenery to investigate in that cliff at the bottom of the board, I think it's best if I turn her up into the beach,
Head back
where
towards
she
the ship.
will have more access to other points. So basically up the screen,
Okay.
up the beach, as 5 inches.
Okay, so that puts her back near the ship.
So
okay, so David.
Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah,
I guess I'll activate Bert. I'm going to activate Bert. I think Oka might be within 6 inches. I can't really tell the distance though. So
it's exactly 6 inches head to head.
okay, so then we would say he is within 6 inches. So I will not draw a yellow card, but I will go ahead and move up to the plot point and try to investigate. So the first thing is a peril. I'll have to draw a peril.
Okay, so you got an easy one. It's 1 with might or finesse.
Okay, and Bert is going to roll 3 die 8. He's going to use his finesse. So he's going to try to investigate what was going on here and see if he can get a feel for what occurred at this murder site.
Okay, so he's got a 3, a 5, and a 7, so 2 successes.
So it's completed. And then I'll draw my plot point now. So I didn't run into any danger, but now I have to figure out what the problem is. What is the
okay,
clue?
so once again, the sort of gods are on your side. It's 1 with might.
Okay, and I'm going to roll 3 die 6. So everybody at home, if you look at the character card, it tells you how many dice he has in might. 3 die 6, and I need to roll 1 success. That means one of my dice has to be over a 4, has to be a 4 or better.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got a 2, a 3, and a 5.
Okay, the 5 will do it. The 5 will do it. That means that plot point can be removed from the table. So the monk is the witness. I came up and questioned the witness and found out a clue about what sort of monster might have done this horrible murder. And the monk talks about a legend about a monster that roams this area, a huge hairy creature with fangs.
Okay, so I'm going to roll a d10 to select you a random reward.
All right.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So you have +1 to your might.
Good, good. I can use that.
And
Right.
you become the director.
Correct, correct. I guess since Oka is also within 6 inches of my character, my other Bert, he won't get a yellow card. So I'm just going to move him about 3 inches southwest towards the Pulp Alley rulebook lying there.
Yeah.
Oh man, that
okay.
is a good looking rule book. Where did you get that, Chris? That's a good looking rule book I see there.
Okay, so just 3 inches.
Yep.
And I
I
guess
just want to get him away from. So is he over 6 inches now?
he is, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I have activated both of my characters. Chris, did you activate both of yours or only one?
No, just the one that ran away.
Okay. I think you should go ahead and activate
okay,
yeah.
so I have
Audie.
Audie,
Uh-huh.
and he is definitely activating more than 6 inches away
There's
from
nobody
anyone
around.
else.
I think he's scared.
So, a secret meeting.
Oh, that's another plot point.
Yeah, if there's currently a prop point within 6 inches. Okay, so that's just.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow. All right. So D8 in a random direction.
Okay, so here's my D8. Right. And it's going to be a meeting on the beach.
Okay.
So it's 8 inches due south.
All right.
And that is where the blind musician is merrily playing his instrument.
Interesting.
Yeah, okay, so he's just here.
I don't know. He looks kind of suspicious. I think that might be the murderer.
You think so?
He looks kind of suspicious. I think I'd be careful going over there. All right.
Well, I'm going to give it a go.
Yep.
So I get to activate. I'm going to move 6 inches. Obviously, I can't run and do the prop points. So yeah. So I'm just going to saunter down towards the music.
All right. And then we have Aldwin still hasn't activated over there by the tree. Did he have a horror card on him?
Aldwin is unbalanced.
Okay. All right. Well, that's not a big deal. So when he activates, he's going to get a yellow card too. And he's the last character, Ian. So I know he's going to activate next. So as soon as he activates, he'll get a yellow card, a scenario card.
Okay. So Aldwin gets, oh, Ian, you're going to like this. Lying in wait.
Lying in wait.
Place the monster engaged with this character.
Oh my gosh, the monster.
Roll your horror check to resolve the brawl. So we didn't. So the monster is actually the hugest giant were-rat.
Oh my god.
That has ever been placed on a gaming table in the world ever.
That's the one right there.
Yeah, and it was hiding in the tree.
If I had known, I would have designed it a little bit smaller.
Yes. Yes. So we only fight one round here. Unfortunately, Aldwin is not a fighter.
Is Aldwin not a combat monster?
Aldwin does not do any fighting. He wants to run away from this thing. He has a dodge skill of 4 die 8. So when the monster comes up out of that tree, out of those trees, those bushes there, it's rolling a big old handful of dice to try and eat Aldwin here. The monster is going to roll 5d10, 5d10.
Wow.
And then Aldwin, if you want to, you can go ahead and roll 4d8. And you want to roll high. You want to roll big numbers in this game.
Shall I roll now?
You can roll. Yes, you can go ahead and roll.
Go for it. Good luck. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. 2 6s and 2 5s.
2 6s, 2 5s.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the monster is way out in front. It looks like the monster rolled a 7, 2
So-
9s, and a 10.
Wow.
Oh, hang on. There's a 1 that can be cancelled.
Well, you don't have to cancel a 1 because it can't do anything. So just get rid of the 1. We don't pay attention to the 1.
So that's a bit unfortunate. So that's
Okay. So what happens there, this monster was lying in wait and it comes out of the bushes. And Aldwin turns to run. He trips over his robe. He rolled pretty good on his dodge, but the monster rolled better. And its claws and its teeth rip into Aldwin, and he's going to have to roll a 4-dice health check. That's going to be really, really hard. Ian, you're going to have to roll 4 8-sided dice, and each dice has to be 4 or higher. So roll 4 dice. And all of them have to be a 4 or higher. You can do it.
Yep. Again, 2 5s and 2 6s.
Wow.
I told you she was
Way
lucky.
to go. Way to go. So all the monster got a hold of was robe. All it got was robe, and somehow its claws and teeth miss his flesh.
well, that was incredibly lucky.
Yeah, that was really lucky. Yeah, that was good. Now, right now, the monster is not willing to remain and hang around. It ate not very long ago. So instead of continuing to fight with Aldwin, it disappears back into the darkness. It sees Celia coming up the beach. It sees Oka over there too, and knows it doesn't want to fight everybody at once. So the monster disappears, and that's lying in wait. That was scary.
And now Aldwin is naked.
Yeah,
because
ripped his robe off.
ripped his clothes off.
Now, being involved in a combat will end your activation, so he won't get to do anything else. So that he's done right there. And that ends the turn except for recovery checks. We have 3 horror cards. So you're going to roll 1 die 6 for Celia and for Aldwin, I think. Do they both have a horror card?
They do. So do you want to roll for Sylvia first?
So you're going to roll a D6 and you want to roll big. You want to roll a 4 or better. So for both of them, roll 1 die 6.
Celia got a 5.
Okay.
And Aldwin got a 3.
Okay. So Aldwin is shook up. Aldwin just faced the biggest, hairiest, meanest looking thing he's ever seen in his life. So he is not recovered. He is still unbalanced. Celia, however, is ready for a fight, and she is no longer got that blind panic, and she's ready to go find out what's going on. She wants to revenge Ulfric's murder. So she has no longer got a blind panic.
Okay.
Chris, you got one person to roll for.
Yeah, so Ina has rolled a 1, so she's still running away.
So she's still scared. Yeah. So she is still frightened over there. So we can't even see her. So as we start this, go ahead.
The scenario cards go back.
Yep.
And
all of the
shuffle.
Scenario cards that were used that turn go back to the little stack of 5 cards. Shuffle them up. So far we have 1 clue. We do have 1 clue, and Chris could potentially over there get another clue this turn. We'll see if that raider can convince the blind musician to cough up some news.
Okay, so we have fortune cards for turn 3.
Okay.
So David, you have sidestep.
Okay.
Ian has stumble. when an enemy takes one or more hits, move the enemy X in a random direction.
Okay.
And I have misfortune,
Oh,
which,
okay.
which yeah, isn't so handy.
All right. So I'm the
You'll
director
see
now,
that-
so I'll decide who activates first. And I guess I'm gonna activate Chris. Chris,
Okay.
activate one of your characters. So for
Okay, well,
everybody at
surprise-
home, the director gets to decide which player activates. So I get to choose one of the players, which could include myself. But the player gets to decide which one of their characters they want to activate. So Chris, who are you going to activate?
Right, I'm going to activate Aldi, and
Okay.
he's going to move that 2 inches down to have a word with the musician.
Chris, hold on just a moment. I think you're going to have to draw a yellow card as soon as you activate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Draw that
Okay.
yellow card. Let's see if we can get a lying in wait here.
So it's a grisly murder,
Okay,
but this is ignored because there's a
it
plot
is
point
ignored. Yeah,
within
it is
6 inches.
ignored because there's already a plot point within 6 inches, and now he can continue his activation.
Okay, so I'm gonna move him down, and I'm going to draw a peril.
So he's
See if I
going down to
slip in.
talk to the blind musician to find out what he's seen.
Okay, so the peril is one with finesse. So this is presumably in case I was going to trip over some driftwood or some.
Well,
Some-
I think the musician is kind of nervous, and he takes a swing at you as you come creeping up on him. He's kind
Okay.
of nervous.
So I'm going to try and avoid that with finesse.
Okay,
So my finesse is 3d6.
yeah, it is indeed. And you only need
And
one.
Right, and in fact we'll roll it where we can see.
No,
So
you got
I've
it.
got a 1 and 2 5, so that's fine, not a problem.
Perfect.
So the
So-
actual challenge to get some information is again one with finesse.
Wow.
So the gods are in our favor.
Yes.
And 2 6s and a 5.
There you go. There you go. So he goes up to the blind musician. The blind musician is nervous as he approaches and tries to take a swing at him. Audie explains, hey, it's me, and then the blind musician reveals a clue about what has been going on.
Okay, and I also get a reward, so I'm going to roll a
So
d8.
that's 2 clues.
So that's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. While holding this plot point, once per turn, you may discard a fortune card to give yourself a 1 dice dodge or cunning bonus.
Okay, that's good.
That could be handy. Could be handy. And I become the director. And I'm going to nominate Ian.
Is this turn 3, Chris?
This is turn 3.
Okay.
Round 3, yes. Can I activate Celia, the one who's next to the
Yes, you
longboat?
can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I try to go back to the longboat again and investigate there, or am I
Okay, so
not allowed because-
Sylvia is here. She's not impaired by a horror, and
Okay.
there's nobody within 6 inches. So I think
She's
we need to
getting a
draw a
yellow
yellow
card.
card.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we'll start with. As soon as she activates, we'll start with the yellow card.
Okay, so unfortunately, Ian, there's an unseen danger. I mean, maybe some of the boat is still burning or bits are falling off of it. You
Wow.
encounter a random peril.
Okay, draw it.
Yeah, okay, so the random peril is 1 with finesse or cunning.
Okay, Celia can do that.
So how does that work?
So you need to choose whether you're going to use finesse or cunning. So
And
which,
okay.
She is better with
Um,
cunning, so you would roll
with
3
cunning.
die 8,
Mhm.
and
Okay,
you need to
we'll go
roll
with
one of them
cunning.
with a 4 or better.
We'll go with cunning, 3d8.
Yep, and one of them,
That's 2 8s and a 4.
okay,
2 8
perfect.
and a 4.
Yeah, so you avoid the danger there by the longbow as you're investigating. Maybe something falls or something, and she avoids the danger. So he could
That's right.
continue his activation if he wanted to. So
Oh,
he
okay.
could go ahead. You could move 6 inches at a walk, or you could run 12 inches.
Yeah. I wanted to check out the longboat.
Okay.
That's already been checked out, or
Yes. Well,
Right.
yeah.
would I get any further gains by checking out the
You
longbow,
could-
any other part
you
of the longbow,
could
or I just
still-
look for something else?
Yeah, you could still maybe just move to the other side of the boat.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the key
Move
thing,
around,
Ian,
yeah.
yeah. So the key thing is that at the start of the next turn, you need to be 6 inches away from all of the other characters to
Yeah.
better find a clue.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And would you like to activate Aldwin?
The naked monk.
The
The
naked
naked monk
naked
will
monk.
look for his clothes, put
He
his
still
robes
has his,
on
he
as
still
best as he
has his
can.
sandals on. He still has his
Right.
sandals.
Okay.
Okay, so Ian, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, Aldwin is still by himself.
Oh my
Right.
gosh, what's
So
going
it's
to
more
happen?
than 6 inches. So because this could be crucial, I want you to roll a d6 for which
D6.
scenario card?
Okay. Let's see quickly. 5.
Okay.
Oh,
Is
flip
that
it
your final
over.
answer? Oh, Ian.
Oh
What
no.
is it? What is it?
It's really
What's
not
he run into
Aldwin's
now?
day because he's chewed up the robes and he's coming back for a second pass.
Oh,
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
another lying in
So-
wait.
I hate that.
Another
rat.
lying in wait.
All right, 5d10 versus 4 die 8. Roll big, Ian.
no.
Roll big numbers.
Okay.
4
Roll
die
big
8 to
numbers.
dodge the monster as it comes up to eat you.
Not looking good. 1 5 4 4.
Okay.
1 5 4 4.
All right,
All right, and
Chris, you're going to roll
Yeah.
5d10.
okay, so we've got a 1 and a 2, which we discard,
Yep.
and that leaves a 5, 6, and a 7.
So he can cancel the 5, so that's gone. But he can't stop the 6 and the 7. So whenever you're
Fine.
dodging, you've got to roll equal or higher. So his dice aren't big enough to handle what the monster is bringing to this fight. So that means Aldwin is going to have to roll 2 dice because that's the number of dice that did not get blocked. He's going to have to roll a 2 dice health check on D8s. So roll 2 D8s and both of them have to be a 4 or better.
A 4 and a 6.
There
All
you
good.
go. There you go. So again, Aldwin escapes from the white rat or the black rat, and the rat disappears back into the darkness.
That guy's a sucker for punishment. Just get
Yeah.
out of there, man.
He is. Well, we
Okay,
don't have
so-
too much longer. Right now, he's kind of cowardly in some ways. But the rat is kind of building up courage now.
So
Chris-
David, your turn.
It's just my characters, huh? So I guess I'm going to activate Bert first.
Mhm.
Bert.
So Bert is here.
Yep. And he's over 6 inches. So go ahead and give him a yellow card.
Okay, so I'd like. I tell you what, Ian, you roll a d6 for David.
Okay. Here goes. Oh no, a 1.
Okay.
1.
That's fine.
Okay, so that's his first card, which is a secret meeting.
Okay.
So
1 die 8 in
it's
a
not-
random direction.
Okay, so the direction, d8 in a random direction, is 2 inches in a southwesterly direction.
Oh, good. That's towards Oka.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
towards
So
that
I think
tree.
it's just this side of the fence. There's a huge pool of blood and gore.
Oh my gosh. All right. So there's only one character that has not activated yet. So I'm gonna
No, David, you can still activate. So all that we've done is drawn a scenario card.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I'm glad somebody knows the rules to this game. Thank you so much, Chris, for helping me out, brother. Yeah, all I did was draw the scenario card, so I still have my full activation. Yeah, I'm
and
gonna
it's
go
only
check
2
it out.
inches away.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check out that blood stain.
Okay.
What's left of something. So the
Yeah,
first
so-
thing is I'll draw a peril.
So Bert is going to waltz over the stone wall
Mhm.
into the pool of gore.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So
and
a peril.
right, the peril is 3 with shoot, cunning, or might.
That's bad. That is all kinds of bad. Something went horribly wrong there, boys and girls. Something went horribly wrong.
Cunning is okay.
Tell me the skills again.
It's shoot, cunning, or might.
Okay.
So he looks like a cunning sort of monk.
Yep. So I have 3 die 8 in cunning. Can you confirm that? Okay, let's just roll it. I'm going to go with 3 die 8 in cunning. And this is a very difficult peril here. So I've got to roll all 3 of my dice have to be a 4 or better. Go ahead and roll it.
Okay. Right.
No.
You've
No.
blown it. A 1, 5, and a 7.
Yeah, okay. So now I'll have to roll a 3 dice health check. When you fail a peril,
Okay.
you have to roll a health check equal to the peril. So it was 3 dice.
Okay, you've pulled
And-
that off.
Oh,
Got 5 and 2 7s.
whoo!
Yep.
So
I think he
end your
stumbled on that
activation.
wall. I think he stumbled trying to cross that wall and almost broke his leg, but he's okay now. All right. Well, that will end his activation. Attempting an action like that will end his activation. So he is done. So when Oka activates, is he now within 6 inches of Bert?
He probably isn't, but I think we've got 4 scenario cards in play.
Oh, you're exactly right. Yeah. So, man, I'm glad Chris knows the scenario. You're exactly right, Chris, because we've already drawn 4 scenario cards. You cannot draw
Yes.
more than 4 scenario cards per turn. So we've already drawn 4. So when Oka activates, he will not get a scenario card. Am I within 6 inches of the plot point?
You are.
Okay, I guess I got to go have a whirl at it. Oka is not a thinking man, but there are some things that he does good. Cleaning
So
skulls.
Oka recognizes a pool of blood when he sees it.
Yep, seen plenty of those. So draw Oka a peril.
Okay, so you're looking at 2 with might or finesse.
Yes, might. Might is Oka's sweet spot. So I'm going to roll 4 die 8. 4 die 8.
Okay.
And I got to get 1 success.
2 successes.
Very good. Now it's the investigation part. I think he was
Yeah, so
pulling
you got-
some of the rocks off of, he pulled some of the rocks off of Bert over there. He was helping him out. So now I got to investigate the murder scene.
And all you need is 1 with finesse. How hard is that?
Oka's not a finessey fellow. He only rolls 2d6 for finesse. That is not a good spot. Come on, Chris, you can make that one.
but we only need one success.
I know, you could do that.
How hard can that be? Oh, 2 threes.
Oh, Chris, what are you doing? What are you
You're
doing to
killing
me?
us.
All right, it
But
happened.
but the good news is that this stays as a challenge.
Correct. Yep, it
And-
stays as the challenge. So,
Yeah,
Bert-
and maybe Bert will be able to do it next turn.
yep. So that I think ends the turn.
I think I haven't activated Ina, who was
Oh, okay.
because she's right over here running
you're
away.
exactly right. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
So as soon as she activates, she just takes off running.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that she's gonna come back towards the beach. No, so she is heading east.
She doesn't have any room to go east.
Yeah,
don't-
she can
Oh, a
go
little
a
bit.
little bit.
Okay,
Yeah, so 4 inches
okay.
puts her kind of here, hiding behind the barn. So when
Something
she's
big is coming.
activated, she can then use the rest of her movement, can't she?
Yes.
So she has moved 4, so she's got 8 left.
Yep.
Okay, so she's going to try and sort of come back towards the action. I think 8
Okay,
inches will put her
Good idea.
somewhere there. Okay, so that's everybody acted on turn 3.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to do recovery checks to try and get rid of.
Mm-hmm. I think there's only one horror in play, and I think that's your fellow.
And Ordwin is unbalanced.
Oh, okay. Okay. So one
Okay.
die 6 for both of them.
Yeah. So Ina has rolled a 6. So
Okay,
that
so she shakes
cancels.
off.
I'm gonna roll for Allwyn.
Yep.
Yeah.
5.
Okay.
Allwyn's
So
5.
no longer unbalanced. So
So he's okay now.
no longer impaired. So he has shaken off his fright.
All right. So we get a fortune card, which
Mhm.
none of
We
us
are
have used.
starting
Yeah.
turn number 4.
So number 4.
Turn
Okay,
number
so-
4. Something
So
bad
David-
is coming. Something
David
bad.
gets unseen peril. Ian gets success. So it's after you roll for a challenge, add +1 success and draw a card.
Hmm.
And I get bad news, which that could be handy when we're fighting the rat.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So,
So the yellow cards get
yep,
reshuffled.
shuffled back in.
Yeah.
Bad things are coming. Bad things are coming. All right.
So this is the start of turn 4.
It is the start of turn 4. You are correct. So we have one more turn basically to investigate before all heck breaks loose. One more turn to investigate. Chris, are you the director?
I am.
All right.
Yes.
Who goes?
I think we should have removed that. Okay, so Ian, would you like to go first?
Okay.
Yeah, well, I was investigating the long ship.
All right.
Yes.
Over a yellow card.
Okay, so can you roll me a d10?
A D10. Wait, I need to get those out of the bag. D10. There you go.
Or should I roll a d10?
30.
A3.
3. Okay, so it's secret meeting. So you've potentially found a
Mm.
clue.
Good. You found a clue
Okay.
over there.
Good.
Okay, so this is going to be d8 in a random direction. Oh, and that's a d10 that I've rolled. So a D8 in a random direction is 5 inches across the beach.
Okay. So she's still within range. She's still within range to go look at it. And I bet you Aldwin is within range too. So you might have a couple of characters. Well, okay, never mind.
Okay, so
The distance is very good.
So what you have discovered is the grisly corpse of a dead woman with her children standing guard over it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Celia can go investigate that.
What do you want to do, Ian?
Sorry. Okay. Well, move around the boat and investigate the grisly murder.
Yep. All right.
Okay. So we need to draw a random peril.
Yep. So the kids are trying to defend their mother. They're scared. They're frightened. They see you coming.
I'll use cunning, right?
Yep. And you need 1 with might.
Oh.
Okay. 1 with might. I think she's got 2 dice 6 in might. Celia.
What do I want?
Celia's might is 2d6.
And one of them has to be a 4 better.
Oh no, a 1 and a 3.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, so the kids, she's trying to approach the kids to not harm them, but they're scared, they're frightened, and they lash out with a stick that they have. And Celia will have to roll a 4 better on 1 die 8 to avoid getting injured. A 4 better on 1 die 8.
Yeah. Rolling. Okay, a 7. No
Okay,
problems.
so she's not injured, but that does end her activation there. So as she goes down there to investigate, the kids are not willing to let her near the body. They are trying to defend it.
So David, would you like to go?
Okay, I'll activate Bert.
Bert. Okay, so Bert is in contact with a plot point over here.
Yep. So go ahead and draw me a peril.
And the peril is 2 with cunning or might.
Okay, well, I got to use my 3 die 8. Hold on a second. Let me check my cards. 3 die 8. Okay, 3 die 8.
Okie dokie. So we roll a 2, a 5, and a 6. So I think that's done it.
So then we'll move on to the plot point, and he has
1 with finesse.
Okay, and he's got 3 die 8 in finesse.
Okay, so he's easily done that. 3, a 5, and a 6.
So that'll get us another clue. So now we've got 3 clues about this monster. That'll make me the director.
That will make you the director, and
get a blue card.
Yeah, which is while holding a plot point, once per turn you may discard a fortune card to re-roll a recovery check.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay, so I only have 1 character left. I have Oka, and I think I'm gonna run with Oka. He's not going to get a yellow card. I'm going to move Oka 12 inches towards Celia.
Okay, that sort of puts him by this tree stump here.
Okay. So the idea there is that now they've gathered 3 clues. They're starting to kind of piece this information together. Maybe Oka is concerned about Celia's, well-being, something like that. And he goes, "Oh no, I wonder if she's, in trouble." And Oka takes off, kind of trying to gather the troops together a little bit here.
And also it means that that poor Aldwin has got a friend that's going to sort of stop the rat from eating him this turn.
Right. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to ask Ian to activate the next character.
Okay. So that would have to be Aldwin.
So he
Not
doesn't
too
get
sure.
a yellow card, so he could move up to 12 inches in any direction. It looks like he's over 6 inches for that plot point, is he?
He is, yes.
Okay, all right, so he can't make it to the plot point. Is there anywhere he could start moving towards the plot point, I guess.
What should I do? Because this is the last round before events happen, right? So should
Yes,
I
you're right.
put him in a place which is more convenient for the group to be able to
Yeah,
catch any developments that happen rather than try to keep
Yeah.
on investigating? What should I do?
yeah. What do you think, Chris? Should he, if he moved 6 inches towards Celia, then she would not draw a yellow card this turn. And
Yes.
That
I
would
think that would
kind of
be-
help her.
Yeah, I think we want to try and sort of congregate together
Yeah.
to share the clues.
So maybe have him move 6 inches towards Celia.
Yeah, let's do that. But is he gonna go down the cliff? Because this guy is a nonce. He'll kill
Yeah.
himself on those
Okay,
rocks.
so I think that he has a choice. That he can go down the cliff, drawing a random peril,
Oh,
or he can go round the easy way. What do you want to do, Ian?
Oh, let's go down the cliff. Let's have fun. Let's have
Okay.
some-
So
He
he
can
gets to the
somersault down.
cliff
Let's see
and he
what
draws. Okay, so all he needs
he's naked
is
anyway. The naked monk.
happens. What a show.
So the naked monk is sliding down the cliff, and he just needs one with might not to make a mess of it.
One
Okay.
with might, and his might is 2d6. So roll 2d6 and get at least one of them a 4 or better.
Easy. Well, actually, not that easy. A 6 and a 1.
Okay,
So
there you go.
he nearly fumbled.
He slides down the cliff, gets a few rocks on his bottom, but otherwise a few scrapes, but otherwise he's down there safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you to activate another character, Ian. And
Well-
oh, wait. Hey, Chris, I just noticed that Aldwin is a sleuth. So whenever Aldwin passes a challenge, he gets to draw a fortune card.
Okay. So the
what's my
fortune
fortune?
is raise the stakes. So that's really only relevant in a campaign.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree. So don't just ignore it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It means that at the end of the scenario, you would get extra, the winner would get extra rewards. But since this is a one-off game, doesn't really have any relevance to what we're
Do I
doing.
get to draw again, or it just gets cancelled?
Oh, let's draw him a different, no, it's just canceled. Sometimes you draw a card that doesn't do anything. So not a big deal.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask Celia, I'm gonna ask Ian to activate again, and that'll be
That would have to
Celia.
be Celia, right?
Yep,
Okay.
I
we
think I
get-
was just unlucky in the first shot. I think I can try to convince those kids to settle down and let me approach the body.
Yeah.
Okay.
How can
Okay.
I do that?
Right. Well, unfortunately, the stakes have been upped, and this time
oh my gosh.
you need 3 successes with brawl, cunning, or might.
Well, you know what? If there's anybody that can do it, it's Celia. So 3
I
successes.
think you're going to have to use brawn, and you're going to have to go toe to toe with the distraught child.
Gonna have to knock the weapons out of their hand. So
Subdue them.
4 die 8.
4
You have 4 die 8, Ian.
Okay. There you go.
And you need
Rolling.
3 successes.
Hey, Chris, real quick.
Yeah.
Okay,
Can you
that's
tell
a
me what?
7, 8, a 3, and a 3.
Okay,
7, 8, really.
that is 2 successes. Chris, I think he has a card called Success in his hand.
Yes, I have.
Yes,
The 5th card I drew, yeah.
it
Success.
is. So
So you can add that, and that'll get you the 3 successes
Great.
that you need.
Great. Will do.
okay,
Yep.
so that's calmed the kiddies down, and to find the actual clue, you're going to need 2 successes with might or finesse.
Might or finesse.
So I would stick with might if I were you. The only thing that could change the odds is playing all or nothing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm trying to think. So he's going to roll 3 dice 6, and he's got to roll 2 successes. Or you just roll 1d6 and you got to roll a 4 or better. So that's definitely a 50-50.
50-50.
I guess, Ian, do you want to roll the 3 dice and go for 2 successes?
Yeah.
Or roll 1 dice and go for 1 success?
It's actually better if I roll the 3 dice and try to go
I
for
think
2.
so. I think so. I think the
Probability-wise.
math is in your favor with 3 dice. So
Okay,
roll 3
rolling,
dice.
rolling 3d8. Okay, we did it. 8,
Good.
8, and a 5.
All right, so you got 2 successes, and that is passed. So that is another clue. And give him a blue card.
Yeah, okay, so if you roll a d6, Ian.
Roll a d6. Roll quickly.
So it's
Oh, a 1.
That's okay. It's just for, yeah.
It's just, oh, right,
Yeah.
for the random.
Okay, so the reward is, while holding this plot point, once per turn you may discard a fortune card to give you +1 to shoot or finesse.
Okay, that would have been handy to have just then before you drew.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So that makes Ian the director, but the only player that's left with any characters is Chris. So Chris, you'll just have to activate now.
yeah, okie dokie.
So boys and girls at home, that's what being the director does. When you're the director, you get to decide which player activates next. The only player that still has ready characters is Chris. So, not really a choice there. So Chris has to activate.
Okay, so I'm going to activate Aldi.
You get a yellow
So
card, sir.
So he will draw a yellow card.
Lying in wait.
Okay, so I'm going to randomize it with a D10.
Oh, you can do that all you want. Still lying in wait.
Oh, you've jinxed it, David. Jinxed it. So where can you lie in wait on an open beach?
It came up from behind you. It came up from behind.
Yes, that's maybe more like it. Okay, so the big rat man, I believe, is still rolling 5d10.
You are correct. Now, before you do that, Audie needs to decide how he wants to fight. Audie can choose to use his armor and his shield. He's going to use his dodge skill, fight defensive. He gets to roll 3d8 to avoid injury. Or he could actually go toe-to-toe with the monster, use his sword, and try and get some blood. What do you want to do, Chris?
Okay. So is this rat act? Can I play an unseen peril on the rat?
No, this is actually your activation. We'll be able to play unseen peril next turn, but not this turn. This is your activation.
So what I'm going to do to put the odds in my favor, my reward gave me an extra dice for cunning if I discard a fortune card.
Yeah, but you're not using your cunning.
No, sorry, to dodge your cunning.
Oh, to dodge your cunning. Okay.
Okay, so if I discard
Hey, Chris, I don't want to sway you, but I want to make sure you understand the consequences here. If you cause an injury to the monster, then you will gain another clue. So.
Right.
I'm just throwing that out there. You can either go for blood, or you can, play it safe. Either
Okay.
way is not,
Yeah,
I don't think it's a
okay, I
wrong
think
choice.
I think you've shamed him into it. He is
Oh,
a mighty Viking warrior.
now
Okay.
he's lashing out with his sword. This might be the first time the beast has tasted steel.
Right. So I think it's definitely going to be the first time that that Aldi has been bitten by a rat. So we've got
I hope he's got his
rat
rabies
gets a
shot.
4, 6, 9, and a 0.
Don't listen to that. Audie gets chewed on by rats almost nightly. I'm sure this is not the first time.
Right. So I think it's 4 health checks for Aldi and 2 for the rat.
Okay. Now, Chris, again, I'm just making sure you know this. You have a bad news in your hand, which would add an extra hit to the amount of damage that you do to the rat. Do you want to play that, or do you want to save it?
Well, I've got 2 of them, so I'm going to play 1 now.
Okay. And for the record, boys and girls, you could play both if you wanted to. So if you wanted to go ahead and add 2 more dice, you could do that.
I'm gonna save 1 for later.
Okay. All right. So 1 hit now, and that means the rat's going to have to roll a 3 dice health check. The beast of the abbey. A 3 dice health check.
So this is a health check for the rat, and it's passed all 3.
There
Would
you
believe
go.
it?
There you go.
4,
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
And then Aldi needed to take
A 4 dice health check.
Was it 4?
Was it, or was it 3? It doesn't matter to me, Chris.
Yeah, I think it was 3.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
He's failed anyway, so
he takes an injury. So the rat has now tasted blood. The rat has now tasted blood, but it will not remain yet. It will once again scurry away. It'll be back. Trust me, it will be back. So engaging in a fight ends your activation. So Audi is done. You still have Aina.
So Aina is okay. So she's activating more than 6 inches away.
And I don't think we've drawn 4 cards yet. So
we haven't. We've only drawn 1.
Oh,
so I'm going to randomize it, and it's this last one. An inhuman scream.
Oh no, not again. Aina,
That's
what are
where
you doing
all the
over
started.
there? I think it's her. I think she's the one doing the screaming.
Okay, so this is a health check. This is a health check for Aina, who once again has failed.
All right, give her a green card.
So she takes a horror card.
Horror
So
card.
she's unbalanced. So as long as she's not running, that's okay.
Okay, very
so
good.
Unfortunately, Aldi is injured, so he's only rolling a d6.
You are exactly right.
And he's rolled a 1.
Okay.
So he draws 1, and he gets a sense of calm.
Oh, good.
Oh, so he can't brawl. Right, that's really handy.
That's bad. That's
for a Viking warrior, isn't it? Okay, so Ian, if you can roll for Sylvie.
Okay, what die?
D6, 6-sided.
D6. Okay.
No, it's a D8. It's a health check.
Oh, I apologize. I apologize. Yeah, D8. She's not hurt.
Yeah. 3.
Okay, green card.
Okay, so Sylvie is frozen.
Okay.
So you must discard a fortune card immediately after the card takes effect, and each time you activate the character. If you don't, you can't activate.
Okay. All right. Well, you have plenty of cards to discard, so that's probably not going to hurt you.
So
All
does she
right.
need to discard one now?
No,
okay,
she doesn't need to
so-
discard right now because she's not moving anyway.
Okay, so Aldwin needs to roll a d8.
Yep.
Two.
Okay, green
Okay,
card. Oh, this
so-
is bad this
Oh
turn.
no.
So he has madness. You must
Uh-oh.
Oh my
discard a
God,
fortune
can't take
card
this
when you
guy
activate.
anywhere. Who brought him along?
Uh-huh. Discard one.
So now we're looking at Bert.
Okay,
and
go
so
ahead and roll.
So Bert has rolled a 5, so he's
Okay,
solid. And Oka is pretty solid as well. I think
Okay.
they weren't phased by it last time either.
you are correct. Inhuman screams. Don't worry about it.
Right. So now
So she can continue her activation,
you can continue her activation.
but she can't run. See, is she the one that's unbalanced?
Yeah, so if
Yeah.
she ran, she'd have to take a health check. So it's not a good thing to do. Okay, so she's heading towards the beach.
You cannot
I think
believe the fun that is about to happen at the start of turn number 5. Don't miss what's going to happen at the start of turn number 5. All right, Chris.
So everybody gets to roll a recovery check.
Correct. I think somebody out there is injured.
Yeah.
So
So I'm going to.
Audie will actually roll 2 different recovery checks. He will roll for his health, and then he will roll for his horror effect.
Yeah. Okay. So this is Aldi rolling for health, and he's still injured. And this is
Uh-oh.
rolling for his sanity, and he's shaken that off. So at least he's going to be able to fight.
Good. We needed
so
him.
he's passed the health check.
We needed him in the fight.
So Ina is unbalanced.
Yeah.
And she's still unbalanced.
Okay. And now for Ian's characters, he has a frozen and a madness.
Okay, so Ian, if you want to roll for Sylvie, so it's a D8, you need a success.
Okay, quickly. And
That is
no,
right,
that's
David,
a
isn't
one,
it? It's
Uh-huh.
or is it a D?
She's
it's a
rolling low
D6,
now.
but yeah, it's a D6 for recovery.
Okay, sorry.
Oh,
A D6 for
D6.
recovery.
Oh, good. Hang on, D6. Quickly. 6.
All right.
6.
So
Okay,
she
so
takes off her.
Sylvie has got her act together, and Aldwin.
Baldwin rolled a 3.
Okay, so he remains with madness.
He's still mad.
Yeah, he still has madness. He's had pretty bad luck this game.
To be fair, he's had a pretty stressful morning so far.
Okay, so what we're going to do next, so that's all the recovery checks. We're going to end turn number 4. We're starting turn number 5. And when we look at the scenario, it says the monster appears at the start of turn number 5. Now, this is the fun part. I find it fun. One of our characters is going to reveal themselves to be the monster. So we're going to roll a D6, and one of our characters is going to transform at the start of turn number 5 into the monster.
Okay, so we'll go left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, so who is 1?
Right, it's
who was it?
You'd never guess who it was.
Was it Audie?
It's the Screamer.
The Screamer! The Screamer!
Makes
It
sense.
makes sense now.
Of course.
She was the monster the whole time.
And
she
I guess
was the monster the whole time.
And I guess as a monster, she's not unbalanced.
Yeah, the unbalance goes away. Yeah. And now her profile shifts from Ina's profile into the profile of the monster. And now the monster is here for blood. The monster has tasted Audie's blood, and now it's coming back for more. It has tested many of these characters, and it believes they are too weak to destroy her. So she is coming back with to destroy them. It was Ina the whole time. Oh my gosh, who would have thought? All right, Chris, go ahead and draw us new fortune cards.
Okay, so does the monster have fortune cards?
No, NPCs do not get fortune cards.
No. Okay.
Not normally,
So-
unless I was playing them.
So David, you get I'm all right.
Oh my gosh, thanks.
Instead of rolling a recovery check,
Yeah,
checks pass. That's one of the best cards in the deck.
I like that one.
Ian, you get uncanny, which gives you +1 success.
Okay.
And I get a lucky break. Okay. But I guess what we want now is really combat effects.
Correct. Yep. So now what the clues do here is that each clue that we have gathered has an opportunity to mean that the monster is automatically injured when it appears on the table. So Chris, we have gathered 4 clues altogether during the scenario. So Chris is going to roll 4 D10, and each one that rolls lower than a 4 is going to cause an injury to the monster. So 4 die 10. You want to roll low this time. So this is where the clues come into play.
Okay, so failures are wounds.
Correct.
Okay, so 2 failures, 2 successes.
Okay. So when it comes into play, it has 2 injuries on it because of the clues that we've gathered up. So that means it doesn't come in at a D10 health. It is currently, as it comes into play, it is at a D6 health.
Oh, right, this is going to be pretty easy then.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. The real way to defeat the monster is not just to put it down, but once it goes down, then you have to do a random challenge to finish it off. So not only do we have to put it down, but then we have to do a plot point to slay the creature and remove it from play. Otherwise, it will continue to get recovery checks and could get back up on its feet.
Right. Okay.
All right,
And
Chris.
when and how does a monster activate?
NPCs always activate last in the turn, so they will activate after all of the player characters have gone.
And maybe move towards the nearest player character?
Yes, yes. NPCs will always advance to cause destruction, so it will move towards the nearest player character to, try and fight it.
Yeah. Okay. And who's the director at the moment?
I think it's Ian.
Ian. Okay,
Ian?
so over to you, Ian.
Okay.
You hear that scream, and
Yeah.
Celia down there by the boat, she looks up and she sees Ina transform into this big hideous monster standing over there by the church. What are you guys going to do here?
Okay, as the director, I have to decide who goes.
Yep, which
Yes.
player?
Yep.
Yeah, you can make
Right,
one of us go.
I think who's in control of Oldie on the beach?
That's Chris.
That's me.
Chris, you go.
Yeah.
Okay. going to sacrifice himself, the
Okay.
only character that is wounded.
Hey, hold on a second, Chris. Are you within 12 inches?
Yes.
All right. You are going to have to roll a horror check as soon as you activate
Right. Okay. So
on a D6.
he's rolling a D6 because he's wounded
Yep.
and
Yep.
he's failed.
Okay. Give the man another green card.
And so he's got rage.
Oh,
So +1 to brawl, cannot dodge.
okay. That
So
is
he's-
cool. That is
Sounds
cool.
interesting.
That makes sense, doesn't it, everybody? You know what he's been through, and now he is enraged, and he's going to go give it all he can. And that's something that's very interesting, I think, about the horror deck, is that sometimes fear, stress, psychological effects can drive you to greater purpose. So that's one of the things that's kind of cooked into the horror deck, is that it's not just all bad things. There's actually things that can, you know, give you a little bit of a boost once in a while.
Okay. Oh no, I do
This
think it's
just
still
happened
good.
at the right time. Is Audie going in?
Okay, I think he's gonna advance.
Oh,
Because he's,
okay.
or is he gonna go in?
Can you make it over the wall and still get to the monster and attack?
Yeah, so
Being
is it gonna be a movement distance for crossing the wall?
You know what? I would maybe
normally-
say that the wall is difficult ground. So what I would say is that if you want to run over the wall, then you're going to have to face a random peril. If you
Yeah.
cross it on a 6-inch move, if you don't run fast, if you only move 6 inches, then you could cross the wall at normal.
Okay, so he is enraged.
Yeah.
So he's not really thinking straight. So he's going to run and attempt to
Okay.
walk the wall.
Give the man a peril.
He needs, yeah. So we've drawn a peril, and we need 3 successes.
Oh my
No,
God.
so no. Sorry, we're rolling 3 dice, and we need 1 success.
Oh,
coming.
okay.
That's
Okay.
doable.
That makes it a bit easier. So he's rolled a 1, a 2, and a 6. So that's
Okay.
enough to do it.
So he
So he's-
leaps over that wall. He comes running at the beast, his sword out, leaping over the wall, ready to cut the beast down.
Okay, so he is 3d8, but because he's wounded, it's 3d6.
But his horror pushes him up to 4d6.
It does. Okay, and the rat is wounded,
Yep,
so it's brawling on 5d6.
it is brawling on 5d6. So he comes
So
up.
this is 5 for the rat.
Okay.
And would you believe it? 2 5s and 2 6s.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
not so good.
What did
So
I
this
get?
is Aldi
Okay.
rolling 4d6.
4d6. Okay. So what is cool, I think, in Pulp Alley is that we try to represent fights. This isn't just Audie running up and swinging at a fence post. This rat is ready to fight. So as Audie comes up there, both of them are involved in this fight. Both of them are swinging. Both of them are rolling dice. Both could be hurt.
Yeah. Okay, so 1 and 2 are failures. So I've got a 4 and a 5.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to reduce the odds. So I'm going to cancel the 5 with my 5,
Okay.
which means I'm going to take 3 health checks.
You're going to roll a 3 die.
And I am going to use bad news.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to give the rat 2.
Okay. The rat is going to have to roll a 2 dice health check. and Audie is going to have to roll a 3 dice health check.
Okay,
So
so
this could
this
be a
is-
sacrifice play. Audie's going in there and could potentially be sacrificing himself to take this rat down.
okay, so Audie does go down.
Okay, Audie is down. Now, can he cause that injury to the rat?
And the rat
Rolls 2 dice. Got to get a 4 on
and
both of
fails
them.
one.
And that's enough to put it down.
Okay, so mutually assured destruction. The rat goes down and Audie goes down.
That's a wonderful thing, I think, again, that you get in Pulp Alley that you don't get in a lot of skirmish games, where that mutual fight where both of them go head to head, both of them are slashing and cutting, and both are injured and fall to the ground. Something like that, you know, that's a lot of fun. We continue
Okay.
the turn. Ian is still the director. Ian, what player do you want to activate the next character?
Alwyn's got the madness on, so how do I clear that?
Okay, so you already rolled to clear it. So this turn, you're just going to have to deal with it. When you activate Aldwin, you're going to have to get rid of one of your cards in your hand,
Okay.
or basically he operates as a NPC. And
Okay, I'll get rid of not my fault, I think, unless
Yeah.
I'm totally wrong.
what does that do, Chris?
When a challenge is revealed, the number of
Okay.
successes is increased by 1.
Okay, not my fault. All right, that's gone. All right, so that means you can activate as normal. You have controlled your madness, and now you get to do whatever you're going to do, which might be to, I don't know what he wants to do. He's not a fighter.
I reckon he's going to go over to where the skirmish is happening.
That's right.
So
Because we need
yeah,
somebody.
I think he's gonna run the 12 inches there.
Yeah, that's a good
See-
idea.
yeah.
Because
See if he can be
we
useful
still
once
have,
he gets over there.
somebody
At
still
least feed
has
the rat or
to.
something.
Yep, somebody still has to finish the rat off. So the rat could get back up. The only way for us to really beat it is to what, like chop off its head or something like that, you know, sort of deal. Put a stake through its heart, pour holy water on it or something like that, you know.
Yeah, okay.
So Celia could head 12 inches in that direction too.
Yeah, that's right. She's gonna run that way. She's gonna be more useful in that area.
Yep, I think all of us. So Chris, just go ahead and move my guys 12 inches that way too. So we don't have any scenario cards for the rest of the game. So it is an 8-turn scenario. This was scenario turn number 5. So we have to try and finish this monster off before the 8 turns. Is that all of it, Chris?
So I think that's everybody is running towards the noise and the screams.
Good.
So I think we're now doing recovery checks.
Yep.
And Audie, because he's indomitable,
Yep.
does that mean he gets to re-roll a recovery check if he fails?
Yep. That's exactly right.
Okay, so this is his right. Okay, so he's rolled a 4, so he gets back up on his feet.
He's back on his feet.
And unfortunately, the big mouse also rolls a recovery check.
Yes, it does.
And guess what? The big mouse gets back up on its feet.
It's back on its feet as well.
Back on its paws.
Yes.
Okay, so anyone that has horror.
So we want to give Audie a chance to back up if he so chooses. That's because that's an option that he has. If standing back up would put you into contact with an enemy, you have the option of being 1 inch away. Does he want to be in contact or 1 inch away?
He will be an inch away.
Okay.
So he, because somebody might have a missile weapon. that they could,
I think we do.
that they could use first?
Yeah, I think we do. So yeah, we're gonna have possible horror checks as we get into this.
Yeah. Okay. So the rat has still got 3 wounds. And we need to roll to get rid of any horror effects.
Yes.
So
Ian,
so
this is where Aldwin could get rid of his madness. So if you roll a 4 better on 1d6.
No, a 1.
Okay, so he's still suffering from his madness. Luckily, you have enough cards in your hand that you're going to be able to avoid the consequences, I think. So not a big deal.
David, can you remind me, is the horror check optional?
Yes, it is. It is optional. Since
I thought
Aldi
it
has
was.
that rage on it, he could choose to try and settle down and try and shake out of that rage. But you know
But
what?
I think it's a kind of a Viking sort of
He's
thing.
gonna live in the moment.
I think he's
Yeah.
gonna go with it.
Yeah, he's going to live in the moment, and he says, let it ride, and he's letting the rage take him over,
Yeah.
and he's going in fighting.
I think maybe he's kind of a member of one of these sort of Viking berserker cults.
Let's see.
Okay.
So that puts us
Berserker.
So
to turn number 6.
to number 6, 2 remaining. Who's the director?
Ian still is.
I'm still director.
Right, but we get fortune cards first. So David
yes.
gets adapt.
Who got that, Ian?
David.
Oh, I did. Okay.
Yeah. Ian gets disarmed. When an enemy takes 1 or more hits, they cannot shoot or place a burst. I don't think the rat is very shooty.
No, it's not.
And I get it together for character. No, so I don't think they're useful for the fight.
Okay.
So Ian, you're the director.
So I choose David to go now, right?
Okay. Yep. So I think, can you confirm that Oka is within 12 inches? Because he wants to go in there with his axe. He's got that big old double-handed war axe, battle axe.
He needs to take a horror check first.
Some people might call it a Dane axe. So, okay, you go ahead and roll it for me. So roll a D8, and I need a 4 better.
Oh, and he's a bit nervous now.
When he comes face to face, that's when he goes, his blood goes cold. Oh, that's
No.
nice.
In fact, when he goes face to face, he has a grim determination.
Yes. And what that does, everybody, is that for the rest of the scenario, he automatically passes. Oh, wait. No, for the duration of the
re-rolls.
may re-roll his recovery checks. So he is that again, you see that? He is now determined. He's come face to face with the horror, and it has motivated him. So go ahead and put me on top of the mouse.
Okay. So you're up there toe to paw with the mouse. Oh, are you going to be wanting to use your...
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So he's going to use his most powerful blow here. To do this, I've got to discard one of the cards in my hand, and the one that I'm going to discard is out of ammo. Out of ammo. So I'll discard that card, and that will give me an extra boost for my axe. And I'm going to be coming at it with 5d8. Wow. So I'll be throwing 5d8, and it is fighting back with 5d6.
Okay. So. So the rat is really enfeebled. It's rolled 3 1s
Oh
a
my
2 and a
gosh.
5, and you've rolled a 1 and a 3, but a 5 and 2 6s as well.
Hmm.
So that's
So,
basically 3 hits against 1.
okay, so this is where, as the active character, I have choices that I can make. I rolled a, tell me my dice again, sir.
A 5 and 2 6s
Okay.
against the rat's 5.
So the rat has a success, and I rolled a 5 and 2 6s. As the active character, I can choose to try and block his dice and knock it out of there, but that basically means that I'm surrendering one of my dice. What that represents is how cautious or how aggressive am I choosing to fight. If I want to just let it all hang out, then that means I'm going to get a hit. If I want to fight cautiously, I could block his hit, and means that I'm only going to do 2 hits to him. So I think this is where you let it all hang out, Chris. I think this is where the mouse is going to have to roll a 3 dice health check, and I will roll a 1 dice health check.
Okay, so because the rat is injured, it's rolling d6s.
Yep.
Yeah, so 3d6, and it's rolled a 1 and 2 5s.
There you go. So the rat is back down. So he knocks the rat back to the ground, whack, with a mighty hack from his axe.
Okay, and this is the 1 health check on Oka,
Yep, with a D8.
and he's rolled a 6, so
Okay,
it's
he
just
shakes
glanced
it
off of his
He
armor.
shakes it off. All right. So that would technically make me the director there. You
It
become a
would.
director when you get a reward card. You also become the director when you clearly win a fight. And by definition, that means that you injure somebody without suffering an injury. So the rat was injured, Oka was not. That makes me the director. And I guess, can you confirm where Bert is for me? It looks like he's on his knees at the corner of the church. Is that where Bert is?
He's here.
Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and get him out of the way, and I'll just run him 12 inches towards the rat.
Okay, that will put him up there.
All right. Who has a... Oh, you know what would be suiting here is if good old Aldwin was the hero of the hour. You know what, Ian, I'm going to ask you to activate a character.
Okay, let's try Allwyn then.
Okay.
But what is he gonna do? He's just gonna run
He's
after the rat naked.
so right now the rat is down, and while it is down, it becomes a plot point, which means he could walk up to it and finish it off. He could either put a stake through its heart, he could chop off its head, he could light it on fire, you know, whatever it is that finishes off this monster, that's what he does. So it basically counts as a plot point.
Okay. And
to
to achieve this notoriety and fame and fortune, all you need is 3 successes with might, finesse, or cunning.
Oh my gosh.
That's gonna be difficult for him.
He's got 4 dice in cunning.
He's
got 4 dice in cunning. I think you can do this. I think Aldwin is going to be the hero.
Right. And you still need to check the maths. Is that better than the 50-50 all or nothing?
Oh, I don't know. 4 die 8, and you got to get 1. Hey, could you read all or nothing to me?
Well, all or nothing, instead of rolling for a challenge, you roll 1d6 and you have to get 1 success.
And that's all it says? Is that actually the wording?
No, it's not actually the wording. The wording is roll 1d6. If this roll is a success, 4+, then you pass the challenge. Otherwise, you fail the challenge.
Okay. All right. So,
That's a 50-50. So
it's kind of Ian's call. Ian's good at maths. So You either
Yeah.
roll 4 dice and you need 3 successes, or 1 dice and you need 1 success.
So we go for the 50%.
Okay.
So it's an important roll. 1d6. You need 1 success.
Okay, here goes. 4.
There you go. That's it.
Yes.
Woo!
Awesome.
That ends the scenario. So the poor naked monk who got attacked at least a couple times by this monster and had his clothes ripped off is the one who finally gets in there and drives that wooden stake.
David, I
into the
think
thing.
Alwyn found the rat's weak point. I mean, the rat had a go at him twice, so he must have found something out about the rat that made him actually react the way he did. Go for him and finish him off.
Yes, he was in contact. Yes, you're exactly right, Ian. That makes a lot of sense. He was in contact with him probably more than anybody else was. So he spotted a weak spot, a weak point that he was able to exploit there and finally finish it off. So the thing had an ability that it basically would continue to regenerate and get back on its feet, you know, at the end of each turn, or at least had a chance to. But by finishing it off like that, that's what actually kills the monster. And that's the end of the scenario. That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun,
Alwyn
David.
ends up being the hero. That was cool.
Yeah.
Well done. So can I
That
just
was
say
fun.
something? That I think that if you were also fighting amongst yourself, that would be hideously difficult.
Yes. Yeah, that's why it comes with a warning. If you look at the page number 1, where it talks about playing versus, co-op, or solo, because you can play the scenario co-op, solo. You could play it versus, where you're actually enemies with each other. But it does have a warning. That's what it actually says on versus. It says, warning, the difficulty of this scenario is significantly increased if played versus. And you're right, it becomes an absolute bloodbath on the table, where the characters are fighting each other, but then they're also fighting the monster. That's tough.
I mean, this is what I really like about Pulp Alley, is that there's just so much variety, that it's not one of these games where you line up at one side of the table and advance to contact and see how many figures are standing at the end. That it's
right.
There's the narrative. And,
there's a real story there. Yeah,
absolutely.
This was a story. We weren't just playing, you know, a skirmish. This was a story that could play out, you know, would be written down in the sagas. So yeah, I appreciate that, Chris. You're exactly right. That's a really good point.
Yeah. So I think we'll need to have another episode in this, because we are actually having a Viking Saga 2 Kickstarter in probably a month's time.
Yeah,
more
that would be
Vikings,
awesome.
more villagers, and
So a big thank you to everybody that's watched this far. Please take a moment, make sure you hit that like button, get subscribed to our little channel, and also hit that bell so you get notifications. But I think it's really important to also point out the beautiful miniatures that you've been seeing throughout this video are available right now on Kickstarter. So get over to the Kickstarter. Chris, Ian, can you refresh our memory a little bit about the Kickstarter and some of the miniatures that are on there?
Okay, so the Kickstarter is for either 3D print, fine cast metal, or hard thermoplastic. The miniatures are mighty, characterful Viking warriors, shield maidens, monks, a villager. So it's a great selection, everything that you need to play this scenario, to be leaders in your armies, and a lot more. And there's lots of stretch goals. I think 3 stretch goals have already been met.
Wow.
So there's 3 additional free miniatures that are going out to everybody.
Awesome.
The only thing I'd like to add to that, this is a collector's edition, and basically I'll end by saying, just don't miss out. You'll regret it if you do.
Yeah, these are beautiful figures, and I'm just blown away by the detail and the posing and everything. These are the sort of miniatures I have been wanting to do. A Norse, English, Danelaw sort of campaign, and these were exactly what I was looking for. Just beautiful. Whether you're playing D&D or Pendragon or other role-playing games or skirmish games and war games, these are the sort of figures that you're going to want to have. So don't let these get past you. You'll regret it, especially, and then look forward to the next Kickstarter for some other stuff. The wonderful thing about this, and Ian does such cool stuff, but in the past, a lot of them have been STL only. So those of us that don't have a 3D printer, we couldn't really enjoy those unless we wanted to have somebody else do it for us. But this, you can get the cool Cyocast plastic figures, or the metal figures, or the 3D print, the STL files. Man, this is what I've been waiting for. So I'm really excited about it. A big thank you to everybody for watching. A big thank you to Ian and his daughter for being here, and Chris, Abby, and we're looking forward to doing another scenario with these characters. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Bye, everybody.